Hey guys, it's Maymay, and today we are making bunny rabbit ear napkin ring holders, and I want to tell you why. So I was in a fancy home decor store, and they had these adorable little bunny rabbit ear napkin ring holders, and I had to try it. So I came home and I was like, how do I do it? You guys love when we do Rosette projects, so I thought I'd mix rosettes with chipboard. You also love chipboard projects, and we're going to make napkin rings. And these are actually for my table at home. These are my napkins are going on. So I thought you'd want to come along. Let's make them. All right, the first thing you're going to do, we're going to start with a piece of lightweight cardstock. This is important. Not 110, not 130. We need something about 65 pound. This is actually some Nina that I have in my stash that's 65 pound. So you're going to need this that's 10 by 7.5. Okay, that's where we're going to start. Then we're going to start scoring. We're going to make 2 sets of ears from 1 piece of paper, and I'm doing 4 napkin rings, so I need 4 sets of ears. So that's kind of where this came from. If you only need 1 set of ears, I'll show you what that size is in just a second. All right, the first thing you want to do, put this into your scoreboard and put it in on the 7.5 inch side. All right, and what I want you to do is score it at 3 3/4. This is right down the middle. 3 3/4. Now we're going to turn it, and we're going to score it every 1/2 inch. And you guys know that I don't like to fight that little corner down there. So I always do my 1/2 inches from the end where I can really hold on to everything. And I'll either flip the page around or get that last one when I get done. We'll get there. All right, so every 1/2 inch. So here's the thing. I saw those cute little ear napkin ring holders, and I was like, they weren't that terribly expensive. I got to be honest. I could have just gotten them. I think they were like $5 or $6 a piece, but I thought, you know what? I totally have everything in my stash to make this happen, and I want to do that. How many times we say, I can make that? All right, I can get to this last one just by scoring it just like that, and we are good. Now, all our scoring is done. Can you see that? It's all done. All right, to make 2 sets of ears, all our scoring is done. Now, we need to do some trimming. I'm going to get my paper trimmer, and what we're going to do now is with that score line in the middle going horizontal, I want to cut these at 2.5 inch. Okay, so I'm just going to put this on the 2.5 inch mark, and you'll see it's going to cut through one of your score lines, and that's what you want it to do. So 2.5 inches there, 2.5 here, and 2.5 again. So you'll get 4 of these. So there are those. Now remember how I told you, if you only wanted to make 1 set of ears, okay, you just need 2 pieces that are 2.5 inches tall by 7.5 inches long, scored in the middle, and then every 1/2 inch. This will make a set of ears, all right? But like I said, I need multiples. Okay, now for the fun part. Now what we want to do is we want to fold these guys in half and crease them down in the middle. We can go ahead and do that with all of them real quick. Now, for my eyeballing buddies, this is a project you're going to love. For those of you who don't like eyeballing, you're just going to have to try it on this one, okay? Because we're fixing to eyeball a mark. I'll show you what I mean. I didn't see a reason to measure this, and it seemed to have worked out on my other 2, and this is how I did it. I'll take a pencil, and from this corner, this is not the fold, this is the open edge. Your fold is over here on the right-hand side. If you're left-handed, you'd switch it around, but you want your fold here. From this corner, I'm going to draw an arc or an angle, about like that. I'm about 1/2 inch in from the bottom here, and that's my arc. Let me do it again and get it darker for you guys to see. Okay, so that's what I'm doing, all right? Do this 1 time, go ahead and cut it, and then let this be your pattern for the rest, okay? You're just gonna have to trust yourself on this. This will work, all right? So let's do it again. We're gonna lay this guy down. This is gonna be my pattern now. So I'm going to lay this in here. Nope, I'm gonna lay it in here like this, okay? And I'm just going to trace it every time across these other guys, and that will be my same angle. So fold line here, lining this up on the end down here, and trace. They don't have to be perfect. You're still gonna get the idea that these are bunny ears. It's super easy. There just wasn't a definite way to do this arc, like to give you a definite measurement of this arc. I mean, I guess I could have like measured to this score, to this score, to this score, to this score, and like you could have lined them, but it's really not hard to do just to make that little arc. And like I said, once you do one, use that cutaway as your pattern for the rest. We are not looking for perfection. We don't do perfect around here. We do pretty dang cute though. These bunny ears are cute. So here we go. I'm going to cut all of these guys. And I'm going to show you how to assemble. Got a couple of tips for you I want to share with you. So don't get ahead of me just yet because I think you'll like these tips. All right, so we're going to open this guy out. And what we're going to do is on this longest strip at the bottom, we're going to add adhesive. So I'm just going to use some sticky tape down here and run it across the bottom all the way across. So I'm just going to run it like so. And I'm actually going to use sticky tape and wet glue for these. I think the sticky tape and the wet glue work really well. One of the reasons is this. In Alabama, it can be winter today and summer tomorrow. And sometimes humidity will mess with sticky tape. You guys know this. If you've used it before, sometimes your humidity over time will make things, will make it loosen, and you can stick it back, but it'll kind of loosen. And I don't want that to happen through the season. And this is the season for that in my home. So I'm going to use my sticky tape and some art glitter glue. All right, now we're going to fold these in a second, but we're also going to fold these up and make the point. This area right here is a little too bulky on our longest point. Here's what I want to do. I want to just take an angled snip out of this area. When you go to fold these, you'll see why. I did it earlier, and it just makes my fold a little wonky because of all of this bulk that I'm trying to fold up here at the bottom. So just snip these guys out, just like so. One more. And you're just snipping to the score line, and the size of the angle doesn't have to be huge, just about 1/2 inch at the bottom up to the point, okay? Now we're going to fold these, and here's what you want to do. I'm going to fold this over. I'm going to fold my adhesive up to start, and then everything else gets accordioned after that. So that's all we're going to do right here, okay? Let's do all of them. I like to work in assembly lines. So the adhesive should be on the outside when you fold. And then just fold these guys up. So adhesive, and then accordion. By the way, you know this about me if you've watched me make rosettes before. I do 1/2 inch. You are welcome to do 1/4 inch. You could totally do this. Look at my board all crooked. Somebody will be like, ah, your board's crooked. You can totally do these in 1/4 inch folds. I just don't like to work that tiny. My hands don't work that great. So I do 1/2 inch. All right, so we got these guys all accordioned, and now we're going to release the backer paper here and here. And this is where I'm going to add my art glitter glue. So I'm going to go to my wet glue, and I'm going to add a strip of it on one side. Not a very thick strip, just a thin little strip. And that sticky tape is going to help this hold until it dries. There we go. All right, so with our adhesive all folded down, here's what we're going to do. We're going to fold this guy onto itself, okay? So we're folding those guys in. That's why we took that bulk out of the middle, and we're going to line up this middle section and squeeze it together. Now you can totally do it like this because it's, you know, all folded and everything, and then you can open it back out. Look how cute. That's one ear. Let's do another one. All right, if you want to do that fold first to get it started, you can. If you want to go ahead and fold it in half like that, you can totally do that too. All right, if you stick around for a second, I'm going to show you how to make a baker's twine bow using a paper clip, and I think you'll like that little tip. I actually think I may have to film it for my Product Parade channel to give you a little tip video because it's a really cool idea. Makes life easy. All right, little glue, and then we're going to fold this together. Just like so. Squish that down. Get it to stick really well. And there is our second ear. Okay. Now to make these ears, here's what we're going to do. We're going to glue these guys together at this little piece right here. So I'm going to add adhesive on this little piece. Okay. And I'm going to line those two angled pieces, this one here and that one, up to each other. And that creates my bunny ears. Just lay them down. And here's what I did. I took my tweezers and just stuck that in there and let that hold while I kept going. You can just do it like that, and that will hold it and hold those guys together. There we go. All right, let's make another set. So peel the backer off, just like this. Add some glue down this side and this side of the tape. Stick this guy together, just like so. I just line up that top ridge and then squeeze it together. And there is an ear. Let's do another one. So there's a set of bunny ears right there. Now we need to make the piece they're going to go on. So for this one, you're going to need some chipboard and some designer paper. For this, you're going to need a piece of chipboard that's 1 1/4 wide by 7 1/2 tall, long. Is it 7 1/2? Let me double check. It might be 7. Yes, 7. So 1 1/4 by 7. All right. And this is what I did. I took this on the edge of my table and I rubbed this as if it were ribbon. Do you see how I can get this to kind of mold in my hand? But I did it on the side of my table. All we want to do is to get this to kind of mold into a circular shape, like so. And then we're going to bring this together and make kind of an oval. I'm not looking for a perfect circle. Now let me say this. You could totally use this, do the same thing with like a paper towel ring or a toilet paper roll or something like that. But I have a lot of chipboard in my stash and I wanted to use some up. So this is how I'm doing it. All right, so I'm doing that, but let's get this piece ready. This is a piece of designer paper, same size, 1 1/4 by 7. What I want to do is on the back, I want to add sticky tape to the whole piece. So I'm going to stick this down here to the back like so. And I want to cover this whole piece. You could do this with full sheet adhesive too. I just think that this will make this stick better if we do it this way. So I'm going to go ahead and reveal that, or remove this backer here. And then I'm going to lay this down on the other side. The reason is this is going to overlap. I cannot see over there very well. Okay, we got it. So because it's going to overlap, I want to do that way. All right, now then I can remove this backer. And I would actually start the curve on your chipboard before you put this paper on. You just kind of have to trust me on that. If you put this paper on before you start the curve, then this paper will kind of wrinkle funny. So here's what I did. I got my curve started. Then I took my designer paper. I like the plaid side. That's the one I'm using to stick out. And then I'm just going to line this up. Use your work surface to help you get it even. And just wrap that around. Now, I'm not concerned about the inside. And if you want to, you could put the white showing, but this is not going to show at all. So I'm not really concerned about that. Now that I have this done, I'm going to come back. And I would not do this with a bone folder. This is hard on your hands. Do this on the side of your table. Just rub this on your work surface. Just kind of back and forth like this, almost like you're shining a shoe. And just get that to kind of work into that circle. Believe it or not, mine didn't turn out as a circle. Mine kind of turned out as an oval, and I kind of like it. All right, so now we're just going to overlap this and glue it together. And once I have it glued together, I can come back and kind of give it some shape. All right, so I'm using my hot glue gun for this one. I feel like this is going to have a little resistance. And it needed a little something more. Although in my sample, I just used art glitter glue and it held. All right, so I'm going to stick that down with my hot glue gun. Hold that while it cools, and then we can decorate. So see how that's sitting? It's perfect. All right, let's go back to our ears. So here's the little ears we made. And the inside of the ears for me is where this folds together. I don't care for the skinny side on the back. I think this side looks better. So that's the part I'm going to glue to the front. And I'm going to use hot glue again, and I'm just going to put a good dollop here on the bottom, just like so. Not too much. You don't really need too much. This guy's pretty wide, and I'm moving him off center just a little. I'm moving him to the back a little bit because I'm going to add a bow in a second that's going to sit kind of there to the front. I'll turn this sideways when it gets settled so you can really see where it's sitting. So you can see how I kind of did it to the back, and I'm going to let that dry just like that. And I tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and make my other ones, and we'll get back together when it's time to put the bow on. Now we're going to make a bow using a paper clip and some paper and some baker's twine. All right, so let's start with our baker's twine. I want to make a 3-looped bow. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to leave myself a pretty good size tail there, and I'm going to make a loop with my first finger, okay? With this ring finger, I'm going to make a figure 8. So I'm holding this out, and I'm wrapping this around my fingers, holding it in the middle, making a figure 8. And I want to make sure I have 3 loops on either side. Let me show you what I mean. So down here I've got 3 loops, and up here I've got 3 loops. You don't have to hold your hand this way. You don't have to be a contortionist like this and hold your hand like this. You can just make 3 loops and be done. But that's the size of my bow. So I just made 3 loops. Now I'm going to take my paper clip, and in the middle of this, I'm going to put that paper clip on to hold all of those strands together for me, okay? This works really well with one of those metal paper clips. This is one of those plastic coated ones. The metal ones are a little tighter, and it works really well with that. All right, now you want to get this in the middle. This is basically holding your bow in place for you while you tie it, okay? So we've got that holding it there. Now I'm going to cut this away from my twine. So there's my bow laying there. Now I'm going to cut myself another piece of twine, fairly long, not super duper long, but fairly long, because I don't want to have to fight with it. And now we're going to thread this through the paper clip, okay? So what we're going to do, we're going to be working with this loop and this little loop right here. This one that we're holding, we don't have to worry about. So we're going to go down through the big loop, okay? And then we're going to come back up through the little loop, just like so. So then, without losing your twine, which can be a little easier said than done, now what we want to do is tie a knot around those middle baker twine pieces. Let me move my hand out of the way so you can see. So I'm just going to tie a knot here in the middle, okay? I'm just tying that up, and then I'm going to do it one more time. So take that same baker's twine we wrapped around it and do it one more time, just like that, okay? Now we can just pull this off of our paper clip, and what you want to do is you want to gather all of the tails up. So here's my tails. I'm pulling them all down to the same spot. Gather all those up and just kind of pull them down like so. Now you want to trim them all up even, like so. And this is now a three-tiered or three-looped bow to go on our little bunny. It's just a way to be able to do that without having to try to hold it or tie it 3 times or what have you. I'll show you. I did one a little loopier. See how bigger that one is? And these, look, they look really cute on. Don't stress about how they look right now. I need to make one more, and then we're going to glue them on. So I got my little napkin ring. I'm going to put a dot of hot glue right in front of those ears. Just a little dot, like so. And then I'm going to place one of my little bows right there into that glue and just let that cool into place. This bow does a couple things. One, it's super cute. And two, it kind of gives me the feel of whiskers because the way doing it with baker's twine. But you could do it with anything. It doesn't have to be baker's twine. I just think it's super cute like that. So there's one done. Let me glue the others on. So these are the napkins I'm using. If you're wondering where they came from, I found these at Pier 1. I was there recently. We went to South Carolina for a trip for basketball, and I found these and fell in love with them. So with my little napkin ring holder, I'm just going to kind of accordion this up a little bit and slide this in, just like so, and then pull this to the middle. And there you go. It's our little bunny napkin ring holders. They're so cute. They'll be cuter in pictures because it's hard for me to show you here the way I have to stand them up, but I think these are so cute. Let me get them all put in. And I'm not refolding these, by the way. I'm leaving them just like they came. But you probably have napkins at home you can use for this, but I think these are so cute. And there's 2. Let's do a couple more. And I think by shaping these in the oval shaping instead of perfectly round, they sit better on the table. But there they are, guys. That is my 4 little bunny-eared napkin ring holders. I think they are so cute. I hope you guys enjoy this project. I hope you make it for your own home. And I'm working on my spring home. I'm actually decorating for spring. I haven't done that in a long time. If you'd like to see a tour of what I've done, let me know. Leave it in the comments below if you'd like to see my spring home tour. I'll show you what it's looking like. But there you go, guys. Time to go put these on my table. Talk to you again real soon. Bye-bye.